What are the first steps in planning a construction project? In this video, I'm not going to cover the entire sequence of events or tasks. I'm going to talk about the key steps that, if followed, will really set you up for a nice planning experience. So what is the most important first step? What is the key to all remaining planning? That if you miss it, you're going to be in trouble. Like it's key to everything else. And what are the 12 first steps that you must follow? We're going to talk about that in this video right now. So the number one most important step, which is also number one as a part of the 12, is always to establish the planning team. It's always first who and then what. Once you have the right people on board, and if you don't have them on board right away, know when the right people are coming at the right stages and who's going to build the project, meaning who are going to be the builders, then you have everything you need to get started, because again, it's always first who and then what. But let me go on a quick sidebar here. I believe that the planning of a project is almost the most fun. If it wasn't for working with the women and men out in the field, I think planning would be the most fun part of the entire construction process, because that's where we win. I want you to hear me on this. 60% of a project's success happens in the planning phase of a project. It happens in pre-construction. It happens before we ever break ground. 100%, I am right about that. That 60% of your success happens at that time. You remember Sun Tzu saying that amateur generals will go to battle and then seek to win. But great generals will win the war, win the battle, and then go and fight, then go and participate in the battle. They've already won before they ever engage the enemy, ever. Planning is where it's all at. So if we have a really killer planning process, we will have, most likely, a really killer construction project. So first, who is going to help you build that plan? That's the first and most important consideration. Number two, this might sound silly, but understand what we sold. There were a lot of promises, there were a lot of graphics, there were a lot of words that were put into the proposal and the interview when we went after that project, or somebody else if you weren't a part of the interview team or the proposal team. We promised things, and we have got to get back to the point where as an industry we say, oh, well, I promised this, I promised this, I promised this. We'll deliver that. Let's not do the bait and switch. So number one, who's the team? And number two, what did we already promise? We need to tell the team that's going to build the project what we promised, right? Did we promise 2 cranes? Did we promise this with the pedestrians? Did we promise a certain deadline? What did we promise? So step number 2, and this was the key step that I promised, enables everything else you do. We have to know what we sold. If you don't know this, it would be like you attempting to, let's say at Cold Stone Creamery, trying to serve customers without ever being able to hear what they want. Well, I can guess, I guess I'll hook you up with some cake batter ice cream with some chocolate shaving. I don't know. I can't hear you, right? That would make no sense. You have to hear what the customer wants and deliver it. If I want a chocolate ice cream with caramel and chocolate shavings and I want whipped cream on the top, then I darn well better get that by the time that I pay money at the other end, right? So your customer's opportunity to order his or her project ice cream was in the interview and in the proposal. So know what we promised. That's step number 2. Nothing can proceed without that. Number 3, know the parameters of the project and the budget, right? Is there a stipulated end date? Is there a budget that we're constrained by? What are they wanting? Because I can, using lean methodologies, tact planning, last planner, and flow principles, right? Lean in construction and other lean in design methodologies, I can work the plan within those parameters. So step number 3, always know what your parameters are. We'll plan within those. Number 4, and this doesn't matter when in the project you really are, or in design, or in the development of the actual project, the concept of the project, but know about it as much as you possibly can, right? The first step is never to start scheduling and do button clicks. The first step is always understand what you're building, right? Not just what the owner wants, not just what you're constrained by, but also as much of the plans and specs or any of the documents, right, the soils report, anything you can get your hands on, know as much about the project as you possibly can. 5, in addition to knowing the project, know the region, right? What is the current labor force like? What is the weather like? What are the risks in that region, right? Know the region in which you're building, right? Like if I go, oh, here's a great example. Me in Phoenix, like we build the guts of the building, the inside, way before the outside is on, way before the exterior is enclosed, right? And so we have, well, I don't know if I can say that, but like we still have risk of it getting rained on and having to rip out drywall and having mold inside the wall cavities, right? If we ever encounter that, we have to rip it out. But I would say it's much different. Like if I was scheduling with a Phoenix mentality in Washington, right, or Canada, I can't do that, right? I need to understand the parameters in the region that I'm building, right? I can't just use past experiences to do that. Or if I'm in Utah, instead of worrying about cooling the building in the summer like I do in Phoenix, I'm actually worried about how am I going to enclose the scaffolding in the winter in Utah, right? So know the region in which you're building, and that will educate and accentuate how you're going to plan that project. Number 6, as soon as you can with the schedule, with TAC planning, identify or confirm rather that you can meet the overall total project duration. Number 7, once you've confirmed that duration, confirm that you can meet the budget. Number 8, and this is probably one of the most important ones, if not the most important ones in the mid part of the process, is get the builders on board. Don't plan a project and then shove it down somebody's throat. Be like, oh, you're going to build the project, you're the superintendent, pull them in as soon as you can. And for those of you who out there who can't do it right now, get to that point where you can have people on the bench or you have enough capacity to do so. The builders building the job must plan the project for it to be successful. Once you have the builders, break that project into segments, right? I'll give you an example. I once was training a project superintendent to build a schedule for a stack of plans that was this tall. And he was overwhelmed. And I was like, hey homie, just go through page by page. You're going to write down the sequences as you go, identify or create rather your work breakdown structure after that, and then start to piece the schedule together. But don't start right away, right? Go page by page, understand the project, build your sequences, build your phases, then network your sequences and phases together, and then start to look at the project as a whole. So you'll have to create your work breakdown structure, or with the TAC production system, which is the preference, create your projects, your phases, your zones, and your microzones. So break that project apart, eat it one bite at a time. Which also, there's another thing you can eat one bite at a time, which is these videos. And if you want access to more of them so that you can get the full body of knowledge of what we're sharing, please subscribe. We love your likes and any engagement because that scales the channel, and we love your comments. I'll respond to them one by one. Lastly, step number 10, and this is something everyone forgets, take notes as you go. Every bit of information you find when you're planning either goes on the schedule, the zone maps, the logistics drawing, the basis of schedule, the signage drawings, your risk and opportunity register, or it's a note to the estimating team to include something in the budget. You must take great notes. Everything you think of, everything you know how to do, everything you know you should do must be written down and moved into the deliverables, the visuals that you're going to use or somebody else, quite frankly, might use to build that project. There cannot be tribal knowledge or things by memory. Take great notes throughout the whole process. Number 11, when you do your planning, you'll always want this concept of a 10th man. Now, I got this from the movie World War Z. Great movie. I love the movie. Nice plot, really eerie feel through the movie. I thought it was going to be some crazy zombie movie, but it was pretty cool. When Brad Pitt flew to Jerusalem and asked them, how did they know to build this wall ahead of the zombies? They received a radio communique from, I think it was from India, somewhere around that, might have been Pakistan, but somebody heard it and had a suspicion. And Brad Pitt was like, come on, you build a wall because of a radio communique? And the other person in the video said, well, hey, we have what's called the 10th man rule. If everybody on a team starts to agree, yeah, not a big deal, not a big deal, it's one person's job on that group of 10 to be the devil's advocate and be like, well, what if it is true? What if we are actually should be doing something with this, right? You have to have an antagonist, as somebody who will put their manure glasses on, or like say what if, or play devil's advocate in any of these scenarios. So if you have a plan That's your little baby, right? You don't want to mess with it. You must go in there with a Pixar, like DreamWorks kind of like really good review and like tear that, like they tear movies apart, tear that plan apart and get that 10th man or woman in there to like really play devil's advocate and see if you really have a good plan. Typically this is done in fresh eyes meetings. However you do it, it doesn't matter. But don't fool yourself that you can have a plan right out of the gate. Have it reviewed. And then step number 12, get all of that information corrected and up to date from your review on final deliverables and packaged and out to everyone so we can see as a group, know as a group, and act as a group. And so I'm going to do something really cool for you. I'm going to link you to one of our Canva, meaning beautifully formatted documents, one of our Canva files that talks about these key steps in pre-construction and these key steps as a part of the first 12 in planning. You can use this wherever you go, use it as a guide, and really go use it to win on your project. So check it out in the description below. This is where it happens. This is where construction excellence comes to pass. I hope you've enjoyed this video. On we go.